what drew you to this project, and how familiar were you with the film and the novel that featured this character before you landed the series?
Okay, so I wasn't, I watched the series like 30 years ago or something, so I remember obviously like Jack and Nicholson, I remember the kind of characters in it, but I haven't watched it since, but I didn't think it was that helpful to watch it just before I started this. But I might watch it soon actually. So that didn't really influence me. I met Ryan, I was in LA for a very few days, and I got a call to go and meet Ryan and have a cup of tea with him, and I did. And he just said, I've got this show that I'm going to start in Easter, and there's a part I've written that I think is really good for you, and she's going to have multiple personalities, and I think it will really fit you'll really be able to act well in this, and I'd like you to come along and do it. And I just was like, of course, I will come along and do it. And then I literally walked back to my hotel and thought, did that just happen? And then I was really lucky because he was a man of his word, and I got a call from my agent that day, and I was offered a contract, and then I came back and did it, and I grew a few weeks later, and I got that first episode where I first appear, and I was just blown away. I just thought, this is really exciting. This really ticks all the boxes for the sort of stuff I like to do. It's really exciting. So, it was just, it lived up to all the things he said when I met him and more.
Yeah. And one thing that came to mind when I was watching this, and your character in particular, is how often in period pieces, if they're not historical, Black characters usually don't fit to be in fictional period pieces. So how, as a Black actress, does that feel for you to have this character and have this agency in a fictional period space?
Yeah, I know. It's like, it was just, I think that's kind of Ryan. He just, mixes things up. I mean, he just, he just puts all different situations. He never writes like what would be, he writes what could be all the time. So it's a really expansive way of making television. I mean, and so you just telling these stories, these different stories. And I mean, I played, I did a Shakespeare on television at the BBC, and I played Queen Margaret. Some people were like, oh, well, how could she play Queen Margaret of Anjou, in Shakespeare's time? And like, guys, there's ghosts in the story. It doesn't really matter. Like, Shakespeare is writing about a much bigger picture than that. Do you know what I mean? He's not writing, he puts people together that weren't even living in the same century. So it's kind of ridiculous to kind of have this kind of, I don't know. So yeah, I was super happy to be to be brought along into Ryan's world, because in his world anything can happen, and that's a fun place to be. That's the kind of world I want to be in anyway. So
anything can happen. But
yeah.